So it is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. I am still cleaning up. There's a cooler that needs to go out to the garage. Those are empty wine bottles that need to go to glass recycling. And I did a video about 24 books I want to read in 2024, and they're still out here. And I still have the Thanksgiving tablecloth on. And I have to put the little table back into the living room. And somebody slept on this pull-out couch, and I got to take care of the linens for that and rearrange this because this is my little daycare for when I'm watching my two grandsons. And so I need to clean everything up and make it ready for tomorrow because tomorrow's Monday and I'll be watching them again. I'm making some turkey stock. So this is the carcass of the smaller turkey, the one that was rotisseried by my husband, and it was so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Both turkeys were delicious. Anyway, I'm making stock. And then these were the turkey necks, and they weren't cooked. And so I'm just going to cook that first and then add it into that stock. And I have another bigger carcass in the freezer that at some point down the road I'm going to make turkey stock from that. But right now, this is what I'm doing. This is post-Thanksgiving kind of cleanup. And I still need to add onions, so I'm going to do that right now. Hello. So I just got off a really nice Zoom chat where we watched Christy Lewis from Dostoevsky in Space, and I think it's Stephanie at Miss Richards Reads a Lot, and Tiffany of Beautiful Minutia, and they were discussing Poor Folk by Dostoevsky, which was the Rating Project Gutenberg group read. It was a wonderful discussion. I really, really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed that book so much. So I think Dostoevsky really speaks to me, and I really want to read more of him in 2024. But I really want to talk about Advent, my Advent plans. I'm kind of vlogging again this week. I kind of like vlogging because it gives me sort of an extra conscientiousness about kind of living in the now, like the importance of doing the little things now. And so I started vlogging a little bit about cleaning up for Thanksgiving, and I'm going to talk about Advent plans. So a lot of people are already decorating for Christmas and all that sort of thing, but I like to take things slow, and my church is a liturgical church, so I like to live liturgically if I can. And so this is the missal that I use this year. My husband gets this for me every year, and let me see if I can open it up to the last. Yes, so today is the final Sunday of the liturgical year, and it is the solemnity of our Lord Jesus Christ, King of the universe. And so that was what we were celebrating today. So that means this missal is done. And next Sunday, when Advent starts, I'm going to start a brand new missal. Aren't these beautiful? I love the covers on these. They're really, really nice. So anyway, I'm excited because at this time of the year, I get a new missal. So that's pretty exciting. The other thing that my church does every year is they have a giving tree, and they have different organizations like this one. And so we get 6. I get one for each person who's living in our house. We have 6 living here right now. And then you have to go out and, get the things that they need, or a lot of times you can just get them gift cards. Hello everyone, this is Faith at Faith&books. I'm vlogging this week. Not sure how I'm going to put all these little videos I made together. But anyway, I just thought since I'm waiting here in the car for my grandson to pick him up, I would talk about, let me take this off. I'm still reading Thomas Merton's The 7-Story Mountain. And I'm going through it much slower than I thought I would. Like last time I was trying to read and I thought, I'll get so much read. And then I just kept falling asleep. I'd have to go back and reread stuff because I'd fallen asleep. But anyway, it's such an interesting journey of his interior life So he's decided he has a vocation for the Franciscans, and he's getting ready to enter, but then he realizes he never told them about his past life. And so he decides he needs to make a confession. So he goes and he tells the priest, and we now know one of the things was that he had fathered a child and lost contact with the mother and the child. I think he was completely eaten up with guilt over this. And I think he had a habit of drinking and carousing with women. And I mean, I think this was all happening in his late teens, early 20s. So he's not very old. And he cuts himself no slack whatsoever. I mean, he lost his parents at an early age. He was just tossed around there. He had no stability in his childhood. The little bit of stability he had came from his grandparents. But he really, he grew up in boarding schools, basically. And so, and he cuts himself no slack. And I feel like he's a little bit overly scrupulous about it. Like, he doesn't take into, like, nowadays I think we'd be all psychological about it, and we'd be like, oh, you experienced trauma and all this stuff, and that's why you were acting out. Or he didn't have anybody to guide him. He just didn't have anybody to guide him. So, but he just blames himself. So anyway, so that Franciscan priest said, well, you're a new Catholic, you just converted a couple of years ago, and you're young, and you've just kind of lost, maybe it's not a good idea. But he says that he read into it like just complete, absolute refusal, just telling him that he had no vocation. So he was tragically struck by this, and it really hurt him, and he was lost. But then he was very clever. He decided he was going to live like he was in a monastery anyway. So I think he abandons his PhD plans at Columbia, but he already had a master's. And he goes to St. Bonaventure, I think it was either a college or university in upstate New York, which he knew well because his friend Robert Lax, who became a poet in his own right, a well-known poet in his own right, Lax's mother had a cottage, I guess that's up in the Catskills or something, and he and Robert Lax and everybody would just go hang out there. And so that's how he became familiar with St. Bonaventure's, because it's nearby. So he gets a job teaching sophomore English, which is medieval literature, which was what he loved. And he's living there like he's a monk. So he's got a little dorm room, so it's like his little cell. He can go to mass every day. He's out in the country. He can wander around praying. He can study theology while he's teaching these classes. And so he's living like that. And he's actually quite happy. And he's given up. He gave up smoking, he gave up drinking, he gave up women, he gave up even going to the movies, because for his family, movies were like that's where his grandfather made money. And that's why he wasn't ever poor. Like, a lot of this takes place during the Depression, but he hardly ever mentions anything like that. He's traveling all over Europe, and he's not hurting for money, and it's because his grandfather made a lot of money and didn't suffer in the Depression. So, which was good for him, because when he's in college, his grandparents die. So then he and his brother are left money. So at least they're not hurting for money. But anyway, what was I saying? I forget now what I was saying. Anyway, he was happy there, but he's decided to go to celebrate Holy Week at this Trappist monastery down in Kentucky that someone had mentioned to him 2 or 3 years before. And so he just gets it into his head. So he takes this long train ride from upstate New York to Louisville, Kentucky. They pick him up, and he spends the week there. And it's this incredible religious experience. And he really wants to become a Trappist now. But he doesn't think he has the vocation. He's been told he doesn't have the vocation. So he's trying to figure out what he should do next. And it occurs to him that maybe he's afraid to ask and get rejected again, is basically what happens. So he's trying right now, he's agonizing over who to ask or how to find out, like see if he can talk to somebody about whether or not he does, because he can't figure out why he has this incredible longing in his heart. And he's so peaceful, when he's living like a monk. but he doesn't have the vocation. That just doesn't make sense to him. So that's how far I am in that. So, okay, enough talking about Thomas Merton. Yeah, that's it for now. Bye. One thing I'm hoping to do for Advent is to read the Gospel of Luke. There are 24 chapters, and I'm hoping to begin December 1st and read each chapter a day. I've heard people doing this, and so I think I'll try it this Advent. Another thing we're doing for Advent is the Advent wreath. So this is my wreath. Most wreaths have greenery, they look like a regular Christmas wreath. I like this one because it combines two devotions, the Advent wreath and the Jesse tree. So the Jesse tree are symbols that often they're in the form of ornaments, and you hang them on the trees 24 days before Christmas, and each symbol is part of the salvation history. So like for this one, this is the symbol of creation, I think, and then that's a serpent, that's Noah's Ark. That tent, I think, represents Abraham, and let's see, I know that's this right here is Jacob's ladder. I'm not sure what that is. That might be Abraham and Isaac. Anyway, so each of these symbols means something, and I like to recount salvation history all the way up to Christ, which will be this last one over here. I got to clean the candle wax from last year off. So I've got my candles right here. So there's 3 purple and 1 pink. Purple is the liturgical color for waiting or penance. So we're waiting for Christmas. And the 3rd week is the pink, and that is called Gaudete Sunday. And Gaudete means rejoice in Latin. And so we know we're getting through Advent. We're past the halfway point, and that's why we got the pink candle that week. Now so it is the evening of November 30th. We put up the Advent calendar. So each little box, let's see if I can show you. So I think that's the Star of Bethlehem. And this is magnetic. And so by the end, you have this nice nativity scene. And of course, the 24th is when baby Jesus, when the baby Jesus figure, where is it? Right here. Let's see if he's in there. I think that's the baby Jesus. Yeah, I think it is. Oh, there you go. Here he is. There you go. So, oh, that was my husband sneezing. I don't know if you heard that. Anyway, and then we also celebrate the Feast of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And I happen to have 2 candles. And this Tommy DePaolo book. Tommy DePaolo's a wonderful, or he passed away, but he was a wonderful illustrator and storyteller. And this is his book on Mary. And we also celebrate her Immaculate Conception on December 8th. So yeah, and then I think this is December 12th. Yeah, I think that's the day. So we're ready for Advent. Now, tomorrow we're going to start the Advent calendar, but the actual Advent doesn't start till the 3rd. I think I've said that before. Okay, and I'm just going to very quickly talk about current reads and my December TBR. So I'm almost done with The 7-Story Mountain. See, I only have a little bit to go. See? And I'm going to finish it tonight. I really want to finish it before December starts. So it's very good. I'm enjoying it. I'm really kind of fascinated by Thomas Merton. I've been looking through YouTube about him and listening to lectures he gave and stuff. So very interesting book, and I'm about to finish it, and I'm glad to check this one off my list. I am also currently reading The Johnstown Flood by David McCullough, and I'm reading this with Linda Jo Martin, and we're both kind of being slow. I'm on page 69, but I'm going to pick up on it. One reason why I was slow this week is that my husband really wanted to watch Oppenheimer, the Oppenheimer movie, but because I cannot sit and watch a long movie at night or it'll trigger a migraine, it took us 3 nights to watch it. And I really didn't care for it, even though I was interested in learning about Oppenheimer. Anyway, I didn't like the directing style, frankly. So apparently Christopher Nolan is, has a great reputation and people like him, but I just didn't like the style at all. Anyway, that's what took away from reading time this week. So I'm not going to be requested to watch a movie, and I'll be able to really dig into this. I love David McCullough's writing, just excellent. And then one book I haven't been talking about at all that I just started reading on a whim. Wait, the light is kind of bad. Can you see that? It's Daphne du Maurier's Castle Door, which it's actually was started by Sir Arthur Quiller Couch, who was, I guess, Victorian or Edwardian. He was known for his literary criticism. He wrote lots and lots of books. I think he wrote a famous ghost story, and I don't know. He's very well respected. I think he was the editor of the Oxford Book of English Verse or something. Anyway, he started this story, and then he passed away, and his daughter found not the transcript. What do I want to say? The draft, partially started draft, and so she asked Daphne du Maurier to finish it, and so she did, and she tried to make it. Daphne du Maurier tried to make it so you couldn't tell that it was a different author. Anyway, it's it's a retelling of Tristan and Isolde, that medieval legend. And I had read a retelling by Rosemary Sutcliffe many years ago, and so when I learned that that's what this was about, this is interesting because you have a character, a doctor, and this guy, a notary, who's come over from Brittany, and he's investigating the legend because he's saying it's based in history. And so he's trying to do sort of studying this site that was Castle Door and supposedly the site of this story. And in the meantime, in the village, there's like a retelling of the actual plot where Tristan is supposed to, he drinks a magic potion and it makes him fall in love with Isolde, even though the potion was meant for King Mark. And so they're these star-crossed lovers. Anyway, so that's going on in the village at the same time that these two guys are investigating the history behind the legend. So it's really well told, and I'm really enjoying it. And then this is my December TBR, such as it is. So I'm going to finish off Hornblower. So this is the last book in the Hornblower series. I'm 1 month behind, but it's not too bad. So I'm going to read that. This is the next book in the Nancy Drew read-along, The Mystery at Lilac Inn. I'm excited about this because it's the original from the 30s instead of the redacted, re-edited one in the 50s, and those are the ones I've read so far. So this is the 4th one in the series. So I'm looking forward to that. Then I'm going to begin, after I finish Thomas Merton, I'm going to begin my theology read, The Lord. And then I got this at a used bookstore, and I thought it would be fun to read. I don't know are they even doing Cloak and Dagger Christmas this December? It's so sad because Janelle passed away. But I did buy this, and I'm going to dip in. Okay, so I forgot to mention something last night when I was going over what I was reading for December. I'm still reading, or I'm still listening to Little Dorrit. I'm almost done with the first book. I'm enjoying it very, very much. And I think that next year I might do a thing where I started Dickens in October and I just take 3 months to listen to it, because that seems to be the easiest way for me. So I am still doing that. And I think I'm going to try and put this all together. I think this is going to be too long of a vlog, so I'm going to try to edit. Right now I'm beat. It is, what time is it? It's 3:15 on a Friday. I'm always very tired by Friday because watching the two little ones. And yeah, so I'm going to go lay down, and then hopefully I'll get up and cut my hair, which is I'll go get my hair cut. I'm just going to go to hair cuttery. We'll see if I can do that and somehow come up with something for dinner too. I don't know. Anyway, so that is it. Today is December 1st. It was a very gloomy day out. As you can see, it's cloudy and drizzly. They said it would snow, but it just drizzled. So yeah, so that's it. I see people putting out their Advent and Vlogmas videos. I'll never have it together to do something like that. Anyway, all right, so talk to you later. Bye.